Hey guys, Moose here with Remax Signature, and today we're going to be talking about buying or selling a home with owner financing. First, we're going to talk about the benefits, the pros and cons of owner financing to a homeowner or a seller. And then secondly, we're going to talk about the pros and cons to a buyer. So if you are a homeowner and you're thinking about selling your property on owner financing terms versus renting it, for example, or if you cannot get the property sold on a conventional market to a conventional buyer, then this might not be a bad idea to consider. The pros of selling the property include a pure income. Okay, so with a rental property, you may still own it. You still have to pay HOA fees, the maintenance. You may still have a mortgage on the property, paying for interest rate and all that stuff. But when you sell a property to somebody on owner financing, you do not have any of those expenses because again, you're selling it, so the property becomes somebody else's, and all the problems become somebody else's problem, right? So you're getting nothing but pure income. The second benefit is, again, the maintenance. You don't have to maintain the property. If the toilet breaks or the sink leaks, that is no longer your problem, and that's going to be the problem of the owner. So again, there's going to be zero maintenance dollars associated with it. The third one, like I said, it's an ideal investment vehicle, and some people prefer this to renting a property. There's less headache, again, less maintenance issues, but again, more of income. So this may be a suitable situation for either an investment or if you cannot get your property sold otherwise for whatever reason. Let's talk about the cons for a seller. Number one would be, since you no longer own the property, you will have no right to future appreciation. So if you sell a property and 5 years down the line, the value goes up by $1 million, well, guess what? That is no longer your property, and so you have no claim to it. That is the biggest con to this strategy. Again, it may work for some people, and some people may have other goals of holding on to a property for a longer period. Then of course in those cases you want to rent it out instead of doing owner financing. The other con would be for tax. There's going to be tax implications because you will have nothing but income coming in, and you are not going to have much of a write-off opportunities like maintenance or interest and whatnot. So there's going to be some tax implication where you're going to be making a lot more money. And you're not going to have some deductions or write-off opportunities. So that's for the sellers. Let's talk about the pros and cons for a buyer. So if you are a buyer and you might have some credit challenges and you cannot get qualified for a regular mortgage, then owner financing is the best vehicle to purchase a home. Most of the time, your monthly mortgage payment might be equal to or slightly less than what you could rent that property for in that area. So a lot of people think just because they don't have 20% down payment or their credit is not good enough, they can't buy a home. No, that's not true. There is the owner financing option that you can still pursue. 3 years, 5 years later, you can still work on your credit, get that refinanced, and now you have a regular mortgage and you got a home. So you did not waste a lot of time and money thrown out in rent, for instance, right? So that's a pro. The other one pro would be tax benefits. So if you're paying interest, then that's a deduction, right? So you can have some deductions, and there are some other tax advantages to having a home and doing some maintenance or upgrading stuff around the house. So you definitely have those deductions that you can claim as a homeowner. Let's talk about the cons now. So the biggest con to buying a homeowner finance is the interest rate. Typically, for instance, if we're seeing interest rate average of 3.5, or let's call it 4%, a regular interest rate in today's market, owner financed interest rate ranges from 8 to 10%. So it almost doubles, or sometimes more than doubles. But again, this is not supposed to be a 30-year mortgage type of deal for you as a buyer. You should be going in with the objective of working on your credit and then refinancing to a lower rate, or paying it off within a certain period of time. So that's the biggest con that most people don't know about. And the second thing is the limited options that you may have. So not every house on the market that you see has the owner finance option available with it. If you are thinking about buying a home owner finance, by all means reach out to me, and I can share the list of those properties that do allow, or they accept, owner financing terms on those ones. So that's something to keep in mind. You will have limited pool of properties to pick from if you're going with owner financing. I hope these, I can't think of anything else, but keep in mind there's going to be certain disclosures associated when buying or selling. The timeline is usually, it's about 2 to 3 weeks. That's how long it takes for closing. Very simple way of doing it. But if you have any questions, whether you're thinking about buying or selling property with owner financing terms, I would be happy to hop on a call with you and answer all your questions and go more in details. I hope this helps. Take care. Have a wonderful day.